Welcome to the Land Your Bet Sports Betting Show. Looking at a nice 12-game slate here in the NBA on Friday, and I'm bringing you my best bets, player prop projections that I've got in the early lines here as it's late on Thursday night, and I'm getting ahead of some of this stuff to find the best value with you guys. If that all sounds good, give the video a like. Want to run quickly through the recent record, how we did here. Just one pick on Thursday night, had about 8 on Wednesday. Between the 2 days, up a little bit here, more than 1.5 units now, so up about 5.4 on the season. That's what we do here. We just trudge along. Don't up our unit size. Don't get crazy and start adding legs to the parlay. Just stick to the game script, and we will be up more than 40 units by the end of this NBA season. So we're going to keep rolling with this slate for Friday. If that all sounds good, go ahead and like that video. Let's get into it. As we get into this Friday slate, quick reminder that we do have the VIP Discord. Link is in the description of the video if you don't want to miss a single bet that I'm making. But I also want to make it clear that when you jump in, you get a lot more than just the bets, plenty of betting education, some one-on-one consultations that I've been going through with the new guys coming in over the course of the last couple of weeks. Really looking forward to continuing to see these units build for the other guys in the VIP Discord as well. So hope to see you guys in there. Either way, going to be looking at this slate with you here, kicking it off with D-Book. Devin Booker playing the Thunder. What are we doing? 30 points, 29.5 point player points prop for Devin Booker against the Oklahoma City Thunder. This is insane. There's nobody playing for Phoenix. Granted, we've got KD out, we've got Beal out, we've got Grayson Allen out. Top 3 scorers alongside Book for this team. So without that, Book is all by himself. He's got Josh Okogie, I guess, some Nurk. He's going to get some Royce O'Neal alongside him, Tyus Jones, whatever he's capable of doing from a scoring perspective. It's just they can focus their entire defense on Devin Booker. And this is already the number 1 defense whose priority is to shut down the top playmaker and the top scorer and ball handler on the other team. That's Devin Booker now with a bullet because there's nobody else that even comes close to being a sidekick for him as a secondary scorer. It's just him. They're going to force the ball out of his hands very often. I'm even considering a same-game parlay with an over on Booker assists, with an under on his points. You get that negative correlation between those two bets, and you get to juice those odds up even more so in your favor when you combine those two specific categories together, an under on the points, an over on the assists. I think those are both great. Just so you know, the only person right now who has scored 30 points against this Oklahoma City Thunder team is Stephen Curry, who does absurd things and did them the other night with a 37-point game, or it was 36 points, whatever it was. He was in the 30s, took them on and just beat the crap out of them by himself on offense almost. It seemed like nobody else is going to be doing that. Certainly not Devin Booker without any of his companions to help him out. So we're happily taking under 29.5 points for him on this one. One more reminder, do have the live show going every weekday now. Missed it on Thursday because we only had one game, but 5:30 p.m. Eastern on the YouTube channel and Twitter. Jump into the comments with your bets. Bring those. We go over those together, and I take a look, help you take a look at the tools that I'm using to find the best value. Hopefully, you learn a little bit of something from these live shows every day. But hope to see you in there. We'll be talking a little bit about Jay Poole here. Got to go over for Jay Poole, to be honest. I think he's going to get some points in this one, and it's really not that crazy of a proclamation. He's done it twice now on the season against this awful Atlanta Hawks defense, averaging 25.5. One of those games was with Kuzma. One of them was not with Kuzma. But to be honest, I don't really care. Kuzma hasn't really been eating into Poole's scoring numbers at all this season. In fact, with Kyle Kuzma, Jordan Poole is averaging about 24 points a game. Without him, he's down to about 20 points a game. The field goal percentage goes way up when Kuzma's out there because the opposing defense can't just focus its entire energy on stopping Jordan Poole as the guy who really is the engine for everything. Kuzma hasn't done much this year, but he's at least a very nice decoy to keep a little bit of that pressure off of Jay Poole. But this is all about the matchup, man. Atlanta is so bad on defense, and they're so bad exactly where Jordan Poole is going to be looking to score. They're 27th in defensive rating this year, second most points per game that they've allowed, and they're awful, as I said, in all of the play types that Jordan Poole is going to be exhibiting in this game. Pick and roll ball handler, getting out in transition, free throws. Those are the things that Jordan Poole relies on for his points. Atlanta doesn't stop any of that at all, even with Dyson Daniels in there, who's supposed to come in and be that point guard defender for the Hawks this season. Wasn't able to stop Jordan Poole in the game that he played against him earlier. And it's all about the minutes because Poole is over in most of the games this season. The only times he's going under is when he's not getting minutes, right? In the 8 games that he's played at least 30 this year, he's averaging 24 a game, over in 6 of 8 of those. And the 2 unders were against really, really good defenses, much better than the bottom 3 defense that this Atlanta team is, including the Rockets, where he struggled and had to resort to assists as opposed to points. But I think he'll get assists in this game. I just think the points are such a good look for him, and they're low at about 21.5. It's a nice over for us. Sticking in this same game, I don't have a bet for Jaylen Johnson, but I'd be fading him if I was going to bet on him. I'm just heeding caution to you guys as you look at this matchup. It's going to have a lot of points for sure. This is going to be a high-scoring game against 2 teams that don't play defense at all and want to keep that pace high. But Jaylen Johnson is going to be playing alongside DeAndre Hunter in this game. So his props are going to remain pretty high, but they might not be taking enough into account how much DeAndre Hunter takes away from Jaylen Johnson. I don't know if that's going to always be the case. I would hope that this team is just moving itself towards prioritizing Jaylen Johnson over pretty much everybody, including Trae Young, but certainly over DeAndre Hunter and other wings on the team. It's tough. With Hunter in there, you've also got Risache taking stuff from Jaylen Johnson. They all do very similar things and are in similar places on the floor, which really impacts Jaylen Johnson's ability to find space, work in space, and find mismatches, because there's too many guys in similar places, like I said, within the offense, that kind of just makes things clunky. And that was the case last year for JJ as well, when he played with DeAndre Hunter. 30 games the 2 of them played together, he went under this number in 21 of 30. He was only averaging about 28 PRA per game in those situations, and this is at about 34.5. So way too high, I would say, for the fact that his usage and the clunkiness of the offense is going to increase here. So I'm staying away from JJ, but I would definitely not be going over just blindly because he's such a good player, and these props might seem a little low. They're probably not. I'm hoping this Goga Bitadze bet is not only because it came out early and was mispriced and then everybody hits it, but it was mispriced and I hit it. That's for sure. On the rebound, 7.5, I got really early at about plus 120 for Goga Bitadze, and that's just way too high. This man is going to be needed in this game. I immediately wanted to go see what Goga's props were at, because they've been too low since Paolo went out, and they haven't been taken into consideration that this dude is starting for Paolo and he's getting 27 plus minutes in games that aren't complete blowouts, right? And they're not giving him that credit yet. So the other thing that I love about Goga is he's going to be going up against a Philly team that is going to have Joel Embiid in there. Andre Drummond is questionable, but that doesn't matter. Joel Embiid's going to be out there, and he played 30 minutes last game, and we should probably expect him to be close to that in this game as well. You have to have your opposing center out there, and it's not Mo Wagner. He's not big enough or good enough on defense to hang with Joel. You need to have Goga out there for the majority of the minutes that Embiid is on the floor. So I love him for about 28 to 30 minutes in this game. And if you give him that amount of time, he should be higher than 7 or let's say 9 points and 8 boards, right about where his props are at, or at least where they opened and where I was able to take them at. I mean, he's averaging 25 a game, 10 points per game, 9 boards. He's gone over in 5 of 6 with his boards and his points. Actually, he's gone over the points in every game. Those are really beatable right now, but it's all about the minutes. The only time he really didn't go over was when he only played 20 minutes against the Hornets, who don't have a center, so he wasn't needed, and that game was over by the third quarter, right? So he's played a good amount, even in a couple of the blowouts that they had against the Pellies and such, but they have true centers on the other team, just like Joel Embiid. So in a game that you're going to have Bitadze out there, love him for the minutes, love him for the rebounds. Wouldn't even mind him for the points if you wanted to add those. I'm burying the lead here, but I think this is my favorite bet of the night, is Devin Vassell. And I think he's got plenty of ladder potential, because I think the value on him is so right now underestimated by the books that it's like 14.5 points for Devin Vassell in this game. They're still considering him a backup coming off the bench because he's getting healthy. To be very clear, this is like the number one option on the team on offense when he's healthy. That was the case last year. It's going to be the case this year as he continues to get healthier. And we saw it really become the case in the last game where they played against the Wizards. He came in and played the last 7.5 minutes of the game, played 27 minutes or 25 minutes, which is still his high for the season. He's played 22, 21, and now in his third game, 25 minutes, and took a lot of Stephon Castle's minutes because he should. Stephon Castle playing alongside Chris Paul makes almost no sense. They're similar players in that they're looking to facilitate. And honestly, Castle's not a good enough shooter to play alongside Chris Paul. Well, Devin Vassell is a great shooter, and this team is starving for offense. They're fourth worst offensive rating on the season for this offense. Really, it's because they've been missing the dude who scored almost 20 points a game for them, signed a massive contract in the offseason, 5 years, $135 million. And I say that to say he's going to be an integral part of the offense. He just hasn't been yet because he's coming back from that toe injury that he had surgery in June. took him about, the first 9 games of this season that he missed, the last 8 games of last season that he missed, and now he's back. He's at least back to 25 minutes. You give him 25. I love him for 15 points. You give him 30, not even the 34 minutes that he averaged last season against a really bad Lakers defense that's giving up the 7th most points per game to shooting guards. I know I'm throwing a lot of information at you at once, but I'm telling you, I cannot stop finding reasons to bet on Devin Vassell over on the points. I hope it stays at about even 15.5 by the time that you guys are able to see this, or at least you're looking to bet on it in the morning on Friday. Even at 15.5, I love the over. I think a ladder play to 20 is a good look here. Buddy Bud. I love Buddy Hield this year. I love the fit with the Dubs, and I love the fact that now he's playing without De'Anthony Melton once again. So Buddy started the season wicked hot, right? Had like multiple 20-point games, was hitting 5 to 6 threes, going bonkers, hitting a really high clip of his shots, but getting really good shots because that's what happens when you're the shooting guard playing on the floor with Steph Curry. Just ask Klay Thompson, right? But now we're talking about Buddy playing without De'Anthony, and De'Anthony came back. After the really hot start for Buddy, De'Anthony came back and was inserted into the starting lineup. And Steve Kerr made it clear that he wants to have De'Anthony Melton in that starting lineup alongside Steph, Draymond. You've got Wiggins and TJD that he wants to have as his core starting lineup moving forward. But Buddy's going to just insert himself right into that De'Anthony Melton spot now that Melton is out. And he even got over this against Dallas, who also is not that great against spot-ups, which is the case here in their game against Memphis on Friday night. Not a good defense versus spot-up shooters. So I think you're looking at another 25 for Buddy. You saw what happened when De'Anthony Melton came in. He dropped down to 18 in 20 minutes. Last game, right back up after De'Anthony Melton had to sit down at the end there, got a little bit hurt. Not going to play in this one, already ruled out. So I love Buddy Hield to be able to get a really undervalued number at about 11 or 12.5 points. That's a nice over for me. One final reminder, outlier.bet, the best tool around, a nice one-stop shop place for you to go ahead and get everything you need to make those bets. I'm using it every day on the live show, so highly recommend. Jump in the description of the video here. You get the link to a 7-day free trial on outlier.bet. Thanks to the partnership that I have going with them. So if you want to check it out, see if you like it for yourself, go ahead and use that link to get 7 free days and see if it's something that is worth the monthly price for you. I'm going to be back with that live show on Friday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Might be a few minutes late once again. Got some stuff going on in the early afternoons right now, but going to be there to help you guys find the best value on the bets that you're looking at. So come on in, bring your bets, and jump in the comments. And until I see you then, happy betting.